Hello, 8th grade. Today we begin a new lesson, a new chapter on exponents and polynomials. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about zero exponents and negative exponents. A zero exponent is any non-zero number raised to the zero power is 1. The statement for a zero exponent is any non-zero number raised to the zero power is 1. Here's some examples. For example, 5 to the 0 power is 1. Negative 16 to the 0 power is 1. A fraction, 3/7 to the 0 power is 1. In general, we can say any number raised to the 0 power is 1. So if you see something raised to the 0 power, you know your answer is 1. Negative exponents. You've seen negative exponents before on our time test. A non-zero number raised to a negative exponent is equal to the reciprocal raised to the positive exponent. Or in other words, 1 divided by that number raised to the positive exponent. So for example, 3 to the negative 2 equals, let's try that again, 3 to the negative 2 power equals 1 over 3 to the second power, which equals 1 over 9. Another example would be 6 to the negative third power equals 1 over 6 to the third power, which equals 1 over 216. In general, we say that any number raised to a negative exponent is equal to 1 over that number raised to the positive exponent. Let's see what you'll be doing on your homework. First, let's simplify when you're given the value of the variable. So for this example right here, x to the negative 2 for x equals 4. When you're given the value of the variable, you plug it in. So we're going to put the number 4 in for x and find x to the negative 2 power. Now you know that becomes 1 over 4 to the second power, which is 1 over 16. Your answer is 1 over 16. Here's another example. This one has more factors. Let's say we have 2a to the 0 power, b to the negative 4 power, 4a equals 5, and b equals negative 3. When you're given the value of the variable, you put it in. And let's put multiplication dots to show we're multiplying. So this becomes negative 2 times 5 to the 0 power times b, which is negative 3. So instead of a b, I'm going to put a negative 3 in. To the negative 4 power. All right, let's take this apart. So negative 2 remains the same. 5 to the 0 power becomes 1 because anything to the 0 power equals 1. We're going to rewrite negative 3 to the negative 4 power as 1 over negative 3 to the 4th power. Now we're going to take the next step and simplify. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2 times 1 over negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3. When we do our simplifying, we get negative 2 times 1, which is negative 2. And for the denominator, we know negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. And again, negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. So 9 times 9 is 81. We have simplified our expression. Here's another example. We have 7w to the negative 4, and we're told to simplify. Our expression will be in simplest form if we have no negative exponents. Now remember, this is 7 times w to the negative 4. So we'll leave the 7 alone, and we'll rewrite w to the negative 4 as 1 over w to the 4th power. Now to simplify this expression, we'll multiply 7 over 1 times 1 over w to the 4th, and we get our simplified answer, 7 over w to the 4th power. Our next example has a negative exponent in the denominator. Let's think about what that means. We're going to break this apart into negative 5 times 1 over k to the negative 2nd power. Now remember, a negative exponent means you're going to write this as a reciprocal to the positive power. So the reciprocal of 1 over k to the negative 2 is equal to k squared. When your negative exponent is in the denominator, you're going to make it rise to the numerator. So the k to the 2nd power goes to the numerator, and our answer is just negative 5k squared. One more example, and then you'll be able to try on your own. This example is a to the 0 power, b to the negative 2, over c to the negative 3, d to the 6th. All right, so another way to think of this is when you have negative exponents in a fraction, they're going to trade places between the numerator and the denominator. In this expression, we have a negative 2 in the numerator. We have a negative 3 in the denominator. So this term, b to the negative 2 power, sinks to the bottom, and this term right here, c to the negative 3, rises to the top. Taking this apart, we have a to the 0 power, which we know is 1. Our c to the negative 3 comes to the top, becomes c to the positive 3. Our b to the negative 2 sinks to the bottom, becomes b to the positive 2. Our d to the 6 remains in place because it's a positive denominator. We're almost done. The only thing left is to say 1 times c to the 3rd power is c to the 3rd power, b squared, d to the 6th. That's how we simplify exponents that are 0 or are negative.